I know some of you listened to the last 4 episodes, hopefully felt something real, maybe even got a little fired up. And then you did absolutely nothing. And that's okay, I am not judging you. I have been there, done that, got several t-shirts. But I also know exactly why this happens. You have a list. Maybe you haven't written it down, but it's there subconsciously. A running inventory of reasons why right now isn't quite the right time. Why your situation is a little different. Or why the changes that work for other people probably won't work for you. We're going to call that list what it is today. Your excuse audit. I'm the Nosey Coach. We're going through this together, line by line. Before we get into it, I want to make something perfectly clear. Excuses are not stupidity. They are not laziness, and they are not weakness. They are the mind doing exactly what it was built to do, protecting you from discomfort, protecting you from risk, from looking foolish, from failing at something that matters to you. Your brain is actually really good at its job. The problem is, its job is to keep you safe, not to help you grow. And those two things are often pointed in completely opposite directions. So an excuse doesn't feel like an excuse from the inside. It feels like a reason. It feels rational, responsible even. I can't do this right now because. Sounds a lot like wisdom when you say it to yourself at midnight. The audit is just about holding each one of these up to the light, because most of them, not all, but most, don't hold up as well as they felt when you made them. So all right, let's open this file. Excuse number 1. I don't have time. This is the most common one, so we're going to deal with it first. I hear you. You're genuinely busy. Your job, your family, your house, your life. I'm not dismissing any of that. But here's what I'd ask you to do. For 3 days, track how much time you spend scrolling your phone. Track how much time you spend watching TV or playing video games. That's it. Just that. Most people come back with somewhere between an hour or 2 hours a day. That's not a time problem. That's a priority problem. And that distinction matters. Because if it is a time problem, you're stuck. If it's a priority problem, you have a choice. Excuse number 2, I'm too tired. That's fair. Middle-aged people working full-time jobs, raising children, tired is real. I get it. But here's what I've noticed. The things that drain you and the things that energize you are not the same. Watching 3 hours of TV is passive, but it doesn't actually rest you. Moving towards something you care about, even in small increments, creates energy. It sounds backwards, but it's true. You're not too tired to start. You're too tired because you haven't started. Excuse number 3. I'll start when things settle down. I've been waiting on this one for a while because it might be the most dangerous excuse on the list. I need you to hear this. Things are not going to settle down. I don't mean that to scare you. I mean it as fact. Life doesn't arrive at a calm plateau where the conditions are finally right. There will always be a busy season, a transition, a thing that needs handling. When things settle is a polite way of saying never. The start has to happen inside the chaos, not after. Excuse number 4. I don't know where to start. You do actually. You might not know the whole path, and you don't need to. But there is something, somewhere in the back of your mind that you already know you should be doing. The thing that pops up when you have a quiet moment before you push it back down, that thing where you start, it's not with a plan, not with a roadmap, just with the first honest step towards the thing you already know is calling you. For example, this is what has been calling me, and that's why I'm starting this. Excuse number 5. What if I fail? What if it doesn't work out? Now we're getting somewhere real. because this one isn't really an excuse. It's a fear wearing the costume of logic. And I respect it more than the others because it's honest. But here's the thing about failure. You've already been failing quietly for years by not trying. Comfortable inaction is just failure in slow motion. It just doesn't feel as sharp. At least if you try and it doesn't work, you've got information. You've got a story. You've got something to adjust from. The quiet failure of standing still gives you nothing except more of the same. Excuse number 6. I'm too old. I've missed my window. I saved this one for last because it might be the one I take most personally. You might be 35, might be 40. You're not too old. You are experienced. You have something a 22-year-old chasing his dreams doesn't have. Context, perspective, the scar tissue from having actually lived something. Those who built their most meaningful chapters did it in their 40s and 50s, typically, after they figured out who they were. Your age is not a ceiling, it's a foundation, and you're standing on more of one than you think. Spending years in the legal world, one thing I learned in law is that a convincing argument and a correct argument are not always the same thing. Your excuses are convincing. I'll give them that. They're well constructed. They sound reasonable. They hold up under casual examination. If you presented them to most people, those people would nod and say, yeah, fair enough. But they don't hold up under cross-examination. Because the second you ask the hard question, and if I keep believing this, where do I end up in 5 years? The case falls apart every single time. The excuse isn't the problem. The problem is that you've been treating it as a verdict instead of a first draft. A first draft can be revised. A verdict closes the door. And I need you to stop closing the door on yourself, because the version of you that's capable of more is still in there. They haven't gone anywhere. They're just waiting on the other side of an excuse for you to decide what to believe. You don't have to believe it anymore. That's actually a choice. There you go, 5 episodes. We've talked about waking up, about the comfortable trap, about your kids watching you, about finding your 1 degree of change, and today, about clearing out the pile of reasons you've been using to stay where you are. Here's one thing this week, and it's the simplest one yet. Take 1 excuse off your list. Just 1. Write it down, look at it honestly, and ask yourself, is this a real wall, or is this a door I've been pretending is a wall? If it's a real wall, okay, we will work around it. But if it's a door, you already know what to do. This show is just getting started. If you've made it to episode 5, you're not just someone who presses play. You're someone who's actually in it, and I'm glad you're here. Share this one, leave a comment, tell me which excuse hit closest to home. I read every single one of them, because that's the whole point of this. We are not doing it alone. I'm the Nosey Coach. I'll see you next time. Now go tear one up.